Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders, apostles, bishops of Great Millstone, throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the words of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai in sincerity and in truth and diligence of mind, and also to the Akim and Akwef, hearkening unto the counsels of the Lord. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Menashe DC Camp. Short lesson for the hopeful elect. Yeah, so I'm just going to focus on this topic of the Spirit of the Lord. And the Lord already left traces of Hebrew languages, right? The Hebrew words, right? Let me not say Hebrew languages. Hebrew words. It's only one Hebrew language, all right? Hebrew words in different cultures, and that is just part of the puzzle that we come across when we study, when we come across our news articles, when we see advertising and all that stuff. You know, it always pricks our interest, pricks our mind, makes us inquisitive. We say curious as to what does this word mean. We start going to the etymology, all right, and you begin to peel back the layers of onions, and then you see that hey, the Lord was leading in the right direction to understand, the crumbs He's laid along the path of our salvation, so it could edify the body, edify the church. So I'm going to read from the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 7. For the Spirit of the Lord, all right, that's Yahweh, right? For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, right? The whole earth, okay? And that which containeth all things had knowledge of the voice, all right? So, in other words, the blueprint of the Lord is in all His creation. His stamp of creation is in all things. Just like you say, you have like a patent. His patent is in all things. All right, His signature is in all things, and that's His Spirit. All right, whether it's on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, His Spirit is in all things. He has dominion over the right and on the left. All right, He's above. All right, so that's what I'm just gonna share an argument of the church, because the little things like this, it helps you, to move further along in this ministry. You understand what your purpose is. You understand your ups and your downs, all right? Your strengths and your weaknesses, and it helps you improve, all right? Once you understand what the Lord has set in place, set in motion, then you know exactly what is required of you as a minister of the Lord, or as an Israelite, okay? So now, just to show you something a little bit. Now you see this word Reiki, all right? It says a Japanese form of energy healing. And when you dig deep into it, it's just like, what's it like? It's just saying Rakar in the Lashwan Kodash, and that is spirit, all right? So Reiki in the Japanese language is Rakar in the Lashwan Kodash, right? The Holy Tongue, all right? The ancient Hebrew. So you could see that, hey, it's just part of the journey that we're going to come across these things. Even the apostles know this anyway. So it's just necessary. It gets addressed again. And when you go into the Chinese one, this is what Ammonites look at Moab. Look at the Chi. All right. It says what? The circulating life energy that in Chinese philosophy is thought to be inherent in all things. Now that's what we just read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 verse 7. So I'm not making this up. All right. So the Lord operates in clandestine ways so he could reveal his secret to his servants, the prophets. All right. So it's right in front of you, but when you can't see with your spiritual eye, your spiritual faculties, you just glance over it. All right. So for the adept, those that understand what it means to be careful with one's words and one's thoughts, you understand that they have to look into things, and that's how we avoid the pitfalls of Esau's kingdom. All right, because this is a pit, the lake of fire, the bottomless pit. That's what Esau was taken out of. All right, Europe, the Caucasus region, that's where he gained his momentum from to spread out throughout the four corners of the earth, and basically bringing that vibration of the bottomless pit all over the whole world. All right. So this is what it is, and you know what they say as per Chinese philosophies like Eastern medicine, all that stuff. Okay. So this is exactly what we have to understand. And when you read further down, it says in traditional Chinese medicine, the balance of negative and positive forms in the body is believed to be essential for good health. So you have to learn how to be balanced, to be temperate. Okay, just like you have your positive charge and your negative charge. You have your protons and you have your electrons. Okay, and then you also have neutrons. All right. So protons are your positively charged, your electrons are your negatively charged, and your neutrons are neutral. They don't carry no charge. All right. So when you see that, you say synonyms. Chi, ki, type of energy. All right. Type of what? Energy, vim, vitality. Okay. So this is exactly what we all have to pay attention to. All right. And go back again to this. Okay. So it says Reiki is a Japanese form of energy healing. And that's what Yahweh Shai was doing. He was healing people with his words of faith to the spirit. All right. A type of alternative medicine. Reiki practitioners use a technique called palm healing or hands-on healing, through which a universal energy is said to be transferred through the palms. Hey, I can say that there's the amount of people the Lord Yahweh Shai touched and he spoke to. So Yahweh Shai had he had a full spectrum of power, of energy to heal people. He didn't really have to put hands on people. All right. Even the scripture talks about, if anyone among in the church is sick, you should call for the elders, the presbytery, to lay hands on him, to put hands on him and pray for him. What is that? So this is what the Lord is exposing to us, man, that we're the people of faith, children of faith, children of the prophets. And when you go to Wikipedia, look at this. All right. So it says, furthermore, universal energy is said to be transferred through the palms of the practitioner to the patient in order to encourage emotional or physical healing. And that's what Yahweh Shai HaMashiach has called his servants, the prophets, or his disciples, to be about, you know, to speak the words, to speak his words upon the lives, upon the souls of our people that need a healing, spiritual healing, I'd rather talk about emotional healing, talk about spiritual healing. If you can heal, the core of a man's spirit, his emotional well-being is going to fall in line, it's going to follow suit, all right? That's why it's important, brothers, always check your spirit, always be among brothers that always believe in the Spirit of the Lord and Mashiach Yahushai, all right? So that's why you pray, man, have spiritual healing, which also transfers into physical healing. And that's what Yahushua was doing. And that's why the scribes and the Pharisees, the unjust ones, had a problem with the Lord and Mashiach Yahushua. So you see that, Reiki, and this is the Chinese symbols that you use to translate, okay? Now, in the Mandarin, all right, it says Ling Ki, all right? And then go to the Cantonese, Ling Hei, all right? And then see Vietnamese, Ling Ki, all right? Yeah, so you always tell, man, Korean, Yong Ki, yeah. So you could tell when you keep on pushing and scrolling further and further. And now see what Esau drops in there. It says Reiki is a pseudoscience, in other words, false science, and it's used as an illustrative example of pseudoscience in scholarly texts and academic journal articles. It is based on key, which practitioners say is a universal force, although there is no empirical evidence that such a life force exists. So what was Yahushua doing? there is no empirical evidence that such a life force exists. So what force was Yahushua using? All right. And you have all these scholarly articles and artifacts around the world that prove the existence of the Lord and Mashiach Yahushua. All right, you have records in Arabia, you have records in Africa, you have records in Europe, you have records in the Middle East. Iraq, that's ancient Babylon. All right, you have records in Turkey. You even have records in Persia. All right, you have records in China and Japan that prove, that the Lord is real. That proves about the existence of the Israelites. All right, so hey, that's why these lessons have to be done. Okay, just bear with me and just pacing myself. So when you go to let's see. Let's go to verse 1 in the 12th chapter. It says what? For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. You can't deny it, man. As a man of the Lord, you have to believe that the incorruptible spirit of the Lord is in all things. The Lord has a signature in all things. All right, even the so-called protons, neutrons, and electrons, they all have the signature of the Lord in all things. The signature is in there. All right. When you talk about your DNA, the Lord has a signature in there. All right. Even the building blocks of life. All right. The so-called protons, neutrons, and electrons, the Lord has a signature in there, and the signature is His Spirit. All right. So we understand now, man, that Esau's science always attempt to put a barrier between mankind and the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Ashai Hashem Kakadash. He wants to be the only one at that level to know that the Lord exists. These elites know that the Lord exists, but they rather have their so-called puppets, keep the people in the dark. They want to be the holders of the light. They want to be the distributors, all right? But the Lord is not really dealing with them in righteousness, for them to be righteous, right? The Lord has called them for for perdition. That's why you have so being labeled as the son of perdition, all right? The whole race of people labeled as the house of perdition, all right? And as Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you understand that we are the children of the prophets, man. We can't run away from our heritage. And our heritage is the spirit of the Lord. That's what it is, The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord are His spirit, His image that He breathed upon us, all right? So let's go to another scripture, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16. And you look at verse 12. All right. This is what it says. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. And that is the fact. And that is the power of the Lord's word. All right. And that's what it is. You can't ignore what the Lord has set in motion, man. So when you look at this one now, I'm going to pull up another. I'm going to pull up another search. I'm going to type in Chineke. This is an Igbo word from Nigeria, and not Igbo, it's another word for Iba in Lashon Kodash. That's Hebrew. When you say it in English, Hebrew. When you say it in the Nigerian language, Igbo, you say Igbo. And Lashon Kodash, Ibar. Right? Ibaya. So Chineke. All right, look at the word. I'm gonna push this. All right. So it says what in the first line that the word Chineke derives from the Igbo language, meaning God. All right. So anytime you're looking at the children of Israel from Nigeria, when you see that first three letters CHI, Chi, that means it's giving reference to the Lord, the Most High. All right. So so it says right there when you say Chineke means my Lord, oh my God, oh my power. All right. So now let's pull it up. See, Chineke means God. All right. Now let's look at let me pull it. Let's see. Let's pull up. All right. So that's just a short example. Now there are other names you can also look into. All right. All right. So let's type in this one. Chigo K. I didn't look for chickpeas. Yeah, that's how. Actually, it's this one right here. Let's see what this one means. All right, let's see what it says. All right, so you see that? So it says, what is the meaning of the name Chijioke? The name Chijioke is primarily a male name of African Igbo origin that means God gives gifts. All right. So the other Igbo names you could look up to. All right. And when you see that CHI there, it's giving reference to the Most High Yahweh. All right. So that's how you know that the Rakwa Kadash of the Lord, you know, Kaya Yahweh, is in all things. And that's just a simple example right there. All right. I'm just gonna keep this lesson short and brief. So now you go to the book of John. John chapter 6, verse 63. All right. You already know what it says. All right. And it just brings things back into perspective. All right. John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. And that's what Yahweh Shai was practicing. He was healing people with the words of the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord. All right? He was speaking healing into their lives. All right? Yeah. He was speaking power. He was using the energy of the Lord, all right, his spiritual essence to heal people, to heal our people, because our people weren't tapping in to that spiritual essence of the Lord the way Yahweh Shai was tapped into it. Right? Only the elect were able to access it, and that was through faith. All right, and faith and the Spirit of the Lord, they go hand in hand. You cannot separate the two. All right. If you have faith in the Lord, you've got the Spirit of the Lord. If you got the Spirit of the Lord, that means that you've already had faith in the Lord. All right. And that's what this ministry is all about. John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. All right. So conventional science cannot deliver you, man. You know, from your sickness, man. It cannot. It's only the Spirit of the Lord. You have to go by the rules of the Spirit. Okay? You have to go by the rules of the Spirit. Yeah. That's why people get healed. Is because when you go for use the herbs to heal your infirmities, what are you doing? You are applying the Spirit of the Lord, the essence of the Lord, to your situation to heal yourself. All right, that's exactly what you are doing. All right, when the Lord gives you the herbs, what are you doing? You're using the energy that the Lord had put in that plant, had put in that mineral to heal yourself. All right. So that's exactly what this situation is. You know, that's just the physical level. But Yahweh Shai was doing both. He was speaking, he was using his words. All right. He was also using his physical, his physical contact. All right. So it says, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So he's telling them the words that he's speaking unto them, they have power. All right, they have power, and they can bring life to your situation when you're in ignorance and you're at the bottom of the barrel. The word of the Lord is exactly what you need, man, to get yourself out of that quagmire. And that's what Yahushua is making it known unto them. All right. So you have to learn, these mysteries of the scriptures, man. I'm just barely scratching the surface. So this is some things that you have to look into, all right, to know that the Lord is everywhere, man. He exposes unto us things that we need to know and how we should apply it, okay? So now we go to Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. You know what it says? So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. And that's the image that the Lord Yahweh passed on to Hamashiach Yahushai. And that's a projection, and Yahushai projected that energy upon the people that needed healing, the people that had faith. He projected that energy upon them. All right. He imposed his reflection. He imposed his image upon them to heal them. All right. And then it says, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing wherethrough I sent it. All right. So that's what it is, So that right there is just an example of us knowing what the Lord does to get things in order. All right. So that's why we have to pray that we have access to the Lord's mercy, so we can learn how to live by faith. All right. The scripture talks about the just shall live by faith. And when you have faith, it means you trust in the words of the Lord. And when you trust in the words of the Lord, you have life, you have hope, you have everlasting hope. All right. You have that spirit of immortality. And that's what energy is. Energy is immortal. So once you're able to accept that knowledge and you're able to dwell on it, that's it. The law, statutes, and commandments. All right. Those are it's just a reflection of the journey towards immortality. All right. So that's what Yahushua was making known to our people. Now you look into the examples of what Yahushua did. All right. His acts of healing. All right. So you look at Matthew chapter 9, and then you look at verse 20 to 22. What does it say? All right. It says, and behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. And she said within herself, if I may touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Yahushua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And that's what it is. You cannot run away from an argument that requires you to prove to prove this. All right. This gives you a big opportunity to showcase an aspect of the Lord that a lot of our people ignore. All right. And it helps. It really helps us, to be humble, because at any point in time, the Lord can put us through that super straight gate, just to get us tested again, and just to get us boosted to the next level. All right, you're not going to be the same person today by this time next week. When you have faith in the Lord, you're going to have that extra inch, extra step, in your spirit. You're moving up. You're moving up in the spirit, all right? You're moving up in the spirit. You're getting experience because you've been applying the principles of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. All right, you understand, the idea of loving thy neighbor as thyself, and loving the Lord Yahushua with all thy heart, might, and soul. So you can imagine the two greatest commandments. All right, when you're able to apply those principles, hey, you're on the right path, you're on the right track. All right, and you're able to look into heavier and weightier matters in the scriptures. All right, so look at another one, the book of Luke. Luke chapter 17. Look, I'm going to read from 11 to 19, all right? And it came to pass, as he went to Jerusalem, this Yahushua, that he passed through the meads of Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers, all right? They had leprosy, all right? In other words, they had that what you call discoloration of the skin, lack of melanin. All right, they had patches, or what you call vitiligo. All right, vitiligo. Who knows if some were albinos? Right, which stood afar off, and they lifted up their voices and said, Yahushua, Master, have mercy on us. All right, Yahushua, Master, have mercy on us. Yeah, so they knew him from afar. They knew him, all right? They could identify Yahushua. So that was the opportunity to seek healing, and they knew they were unclean, all right? So they couldn't have physical contact with people just like that, man. It's like a headache. Like on a daily basis, you have to deal with people that are lepers, So it's time consuming, if you look at it from the law, the unclean, and then you have that stereotype, man. That goddamn, man, this folks, man. They'll drain your bank account, man. Like every single time you gotta pay for this and pay for that just to get yourself cleansed. All right. And verse 14 says, and when he saw them, he said unto them, Go, shew yourselves unto the priests. And it came to pass, as they went, they were cleansed. So Yahushua didn't have physical contact with them. He only spoke unto them. All right. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, and with a loud voice glorified Yahweh. He was screaming, let me allow Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. They knew Yahushua was the son of David. All right, they knew. That's why they call Yahushua to have mercy upon them. Did Yahushua have physical contact with them? He spoke unto them. All right, his spirit spoke unto them. All right, so that's energy healing. Nakim, he spoke his word, and his word brought life to their flesh. When people look like albinos, you look as if there's one that's dead. All right, like his life pale, no essence at all. So just an example. When you read the story of Moses, Miriam, and Aaron, how the Lord had to jack up Miriam with leprosy. Hey. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So verse 16 says, and fell down on his face. All right. This is the man that was glorifying Yahushua. All right. And he fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan, all right? So he was an Israelite, all right? Dwelling in Samaria. And Yahushua answering said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where at the 9, there are not found that returned to give glory to Yahweh, save the stranger. And he said unto him, Arise, go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. All right. So when you have faith in the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushua, you're always going to receive what you need. All right. That's all it is. That's the way the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua operates. When you have faith, the Lord will approve your necessities. All right. The Lord will give you what you need. Let's just keep it that simple. Okay. Now, there's another one. It should be the final precept. All right. And you already know what it is. John chapter 4, verse 24. What does it say? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai Ba'ashem Kakadash is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. All right. So you see, the word Yahweh in the Hebrew is equated with the word Rakar in the Lashon Kodash. All right. The word Yahweh in the Lashon Kodash is equated with the word Rakar in the Lashon Kodash. All right. So that's proof right there. And they that worship him, the Israelites, all right, it says they must worship him in spirit and in truth. Rakar wa ba'amat. And that's all it is. So you cannot run away from a solid argument, man. You cannot run away from a solid argument that gives you an opportunity to prove the power of the Lord. All right, to prove that the word of the Lord is unto all generations. All right. So when you go into that word, Reiki, it's a Hebrew word, but in Japanese form, it's called Reiki. All right, Rakar. All right, Rakar Lashon Kodash, Reiki in the Ammonite language, that's Japanese, and Chi in the Moabite language. All right. So it just shows you, man, that the word of the Lord is on point. You know, the Spirit of the Lord is on point, and we can't help ourselves, man, but to accept, you know, the essence of the Lord. And that's the point that I can. I've been edified, and you can always dig in more. You can always dig in more, man. You know, there's so many words. You know, if you go into the culture of the Philippines, you know, look at their language also, you could spot the Hebrew words in there too. All right, even in the languages of Elam, you could spot the Hebrew words there too. So Abaratazar, you've been edified, and Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, you know, expect to grow more in the spirit. All right, the Rakar Kodash, Ba'amat, Shalom.